The cops arrested Bryce and took him back to his studio apartment, looking for anything of value.
Mr. Wisen, this is not as massive as I have been led to believe. There are not as many valuables in this apartment as I had thought. What do we have here?
Well, this is one of the world's finest Casio synthesizers. And it's, I can't tell you the value of it. You know, the tone, the touch, the feel of it. You can see Investigator Gadget can sense a fine instrument already.
I can see this plays favorites from the 80s, the 90s, and even the 2000s.
Oh, you bet. You just think it and it plays it.
I think we can take this as collateral for today only, but by tomorrow you need to come up with another $1 million.
$1 million by tomorrow?
Yes, and if you don't, it'll be 2.
Oh, what am I going to do?
Bryce finds himself back in the office, contemplating what is he going to do with his situation. In desperation, he does the only thing he can think of. He rubs his head 3 times.
I need $1 million by tonight.
$1 million?
Yes, $1 million.
Fairy godfathers like me are only allowed to give people loans of up to $3,000. And for 2 weeks at really high interest rates at that. If you need $1 million, you need to go see Big Ben in Central Park. At this point, Bryce was desperate. He'd do anything. So he went to Central Park to see Big Ben. Big Ben was the fiercest squirrel hunter in all of Central Park. He took clients on very, very expensive guided trophy squirrel hunts. He made millions of dollars doing this. And as a side note, he's a good person and he would help individuals who ran hedge funds and needed liquidity. Bryce met with Big Ben in Central Park, told him all of his problems. Big Ben just listened, and then he spoke words of wisdom.
Here, have some squirrel jerky.
Oh, thank you.
Alright, I've heard your story, and I feel pretty bad for you, so I'll give you the money as long as you promise to move back to Utah. A poor city guy like you should live in the country. The city just isn't your place.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You saved me.
You're welcome.
Title: When Not So Genius Failed. Characters: playing the part of Bryce Wisen, Dan. Playing the part of Karen Wisen, Courtney. Mrs. Baxter, Julie. SEC inspectors, Casey and Johnny Foote. Fairy Doug, Mark. Stunt driver, Johnny Casey Foote. Big Ben, Ben Powell. Injured boy in Central Park, Johnny. Directed by Mark Madsen, Oliver Stone. Screenplay, Dan B. Madsen. Soundtrack, DJ Danny Boy. Costume design, Casey. Makeup, Pretty Boy Ben. Cinematographer, Mark and Casey. Scenery, Julie.